So, the last cruise line I want to talk to you about is Virgin Voyages. We went on Virgin Voyages Resilient Lady, and it was quite an experience. So, I have to start off by telling you that Virgin Voyages is all inclusive. So, that means that internet is included, specialty dining is included, beverages are included, and gratuity are included. So, all those things that are extra on other cruise lines are free on Virgin, or not free, but included in the cost of the cruise and not an additional cost. Most importantly, it's 18 and up, so you have to be an adult to cruise with Virgin Voyages. So that is something that is very refreshing. So the only additional cost that you would incur on a Virgin Voyages cruise would be for alcohol and if you wanted a streaming package. But the cabins themselves were absolutely beautiful. They were breathtaking. So I am going to show you a video of the cabins. The hammock was my favorite part. Everything in the cabin is controlled by a tablet, including the curtains, the lighting. Everything about the ambiance was wonderful. They have something called Scarlet Night where everybody wears red and they go to a big party on the main floor of the ship, and there's like this huge octopus. It was just the best time ever. We left from Miami, Florida. We went to Grand Turk, Turks and Caicos, Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic, and Basseterre, St. Kitts. And those ports were gorgeous. All of them just gorgeous. I've been on other cruise lines and the ports were nice, but for some reason it just seems like these ports were gorgeous. Um, Indescribable. They also had a lot of activities on the ship. So they had bingo, they had shows. We went to one called Misbehaving. That was actually the only show I've ever been on a cruise. There were lots of couples there who said that was their third or fourth time on Virgin Voyages, which is huge because I believe their first voyage was in 2020. So for people to have gone on four cruises meant that they've been going every year. There's a casino. We happened to go during AIDS Awareness Month, which was in December. So there was lots of adult activity, not like inappropriate adult stuff, but there was a lot of adulting on that ship. So it was definitely a party cruise line. People were under the impression that it's just for young people, and that's not the case. There was someone on there in their 80s, and I think I found that out at bingo, but there were people of all ages. So you shouldn't feel like it's a cruise line that's just meant for a specific demographic of people because it was actually inclusive of everyone. It was just an adult thing. Now, in terms of the cons on Virgin Voyages, the first one is that the pool is very small. It's just like a small little square. And I believe that's something they're aware of and they intend to improve in the future on their newer vessels. Another thing is that it was very, very, very risque. So when I talk about adulting, that is what I mean. It was inappropriate. There were certain instances where there were things that were said that were crass, and I actually put it in my review because I was thinking about cruising and the fact that I cruise with family, and if I were to have brought my mom or one of my aunts on there, they would have been clutching their pearls. So it was a lot. It was overkill, and it's important to know that an adult cruise does not mean something that's over sexualized. Profanity would have been great, but there was a lot more than profanity going on. So that is something that I think they should keep in mind. The ship is smaller. So when you think about the bigger ships with Carnival and especially Royal Caribbean, they are huge. You are going to get like 10,000 steps in on a slow day. Virgin Voyages, their ships are smaller. So they're very nice and they have all the same features like stores and restaurants and everything in there. But it's just a smaller ship, so there's not as much to do on it. They have a common area where you can eat. I wouldn't call it a buffet, but it was more like a food court. Um, it was just okay. It was all right. But what I can tell you that is really really nice is the specialty dining. I mentioned that in the beginning, but what makes it different is that it's free, and the way you make reservations is they open up about 2 months before your cruise takes place at midnight. So my friend and I were up at midnight and we just made sure we reserved a space for us to dine at every specialty dining restaurant that was on the ship. So we ate at every single one, and we never actually had to eat in that common area because of those reservations. There was one restaurant, I won't say which one it was, but they know me because they called me out about the review that I gave them, but it wasn't that great. So we did go to that common area to eat, and there wasn't a lot of options to choose from when we did. So, yeah, that's just something that I wanted to add. But the specialty dining is wonderful. The service was amazing. Would I go back on Virgin Voyages? I already am going back. I have another cruise planned for April of 2026 to Bermuda. So it was wonderful. I think for people that don't cruise a lot, it's a great place to start if you maybe are an empty nester and you're cruising as adults, but wonderful experience. So if you have any cruise experiences that you'd like to share, please let me know in the comments. If there's anything more that I can tell you, please let me know. I would be glad to speak on different topics. I have more cruises coming up, so there are more reviews coming your way. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope to see you on one of these cruise lines sometime in the near future.